I'll admit, I'm a union man, and I'm damn proud of it. I was proud to be president of GFT, I'm proud to be a member of the AFT, I'm proud to be a member of the AFL, and I'm proud of what we've done, both on this island, nationwide, and around the world. Damn straight. If people don't like it, next time, don't vote for me. Right? But my connections and my supposed conflict of interest is out there. If you got a question about how I vote, call me and ask me. If you want to talk about an issue, call me and ask me. Be my Facebook friend, like lots of them, 1,400 people are. Ask me on Facebook. Join me on Twitter, follow me. Ask me on that. I am the most accessible senator there is. If you go to my website, you will see transparency throughout. And the next thing we're working on is to put every piece of communication that comes out of and into my office on our website so that we can be even more transparent. Yes, sir.
Senator Rector, I'm addressing a question with regards to your chairmanship as the Department of Labor.
Yes.
Today, Felix Ogden had a letter to the editor that relates to H-2 workers who run into difficulties. They have claims of abuse, they have claims of payment. The system that exists now compels these workers to march down to the Department of Labor, and then they're sent back to the situation they're complaining about. And they essentially have no representation. Can you look into a system, or can the Department of Labor look into a system where another employer who might need these workers can then come in and take over their contract? Because as it is now, these workers have to leave Guam, and of course we never hear about it. But there might be a better way to handle it. Can you think about that?
Yes, and I will. And thank you for asking that. Look, there's more than one way to skin a cat always, right? First thing is we need the regulatory agencies that make sure that bad employers aren't breaking the law, right? Because when you're a criminal and you're breaking the law, it makes all of you guys that don't break the law, it puts you at an unfair disadvantage. If you don't want to steal from workers and somebody else does, they undercut your bid. And this is a good question. And with the H-2 things, look, brothers and sisters, I don't live someplace where slavery is okay. Maybe that's okay for you. We all deal with our own moral standards, but not me. That's not someplace I want to live. And when we abuse workers like they have been in the past, with these Filipino guys that we're talking about, that Felix Ogden has been helping, it's a horrible situation. And what about the poor Chinese guys before that marched through the sun 12 miles to go to a place when they don't even speak the language to say, look, I've been treated like a slave? No, we need to do something, and I appreciate that. I'm going to look into that. Fortunately, my AFL-CIO connections helped me in D.C. to get connections and find out where everybody else has worked on that. So I'm going to talk to you later about it. Yes, ma'am.
You began today with talking about the ineffectiveness and the inefficiencies of our government, but then you come back on the other side and say you want to give a unilateral pay raise.
Yes.
Why can we not go through and do a performance raise or get rid of those that are ineffective and inefficient in our government?
That's a really good question. Because we don't have anybody in our government. Right now, the government is basically gutted of competent employees. We cannot hire people. Do you know Department of Public Works? Now, I'm not saying that everybody is, but we've had a huge loss of people because we pay so low. The Department of Public Works just wrote a check for $20 million to an outside consultant to study the roads on Guam and come up with a transportation plan. $20 million. We could have hired a whole plethora of engineers that would have not just done one study, but a whole career's worth of studies for $20 million. You see, it's penny wise and pound foolish. You don't get the quality of personnel that you want to do the job we want and to serve the people we want. And privatizing, though I know some people here are big advocates of it, just really hasn't worked for anybody. And so how do we make it all better? Of course we have performance raises. Those are built in. This isn't a raise. I said that. It's a pay adjustment. You can't expect people to come in and work for half price. Would you do it? It's not semantics. It's numbers.
It's semantics.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Last question. Considering our finite revenue sources on this island, if you want to increase the operational expenses for salaries, don't you think that you're going to have to start laying some people off just to stay in operation? So, you know, where do you think, or what's going to happen with all these people that are laid off? We're going to have to pay them more for, what do you call it, welfare, correct? Food stamps? Has that been adjusted or put into your plan?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. That chart isn't on there on the paper I handed out, but that's a fantasy that isn't true. That's a scare tactic that people use all the time. They say, oh, well, if we raise the salary, we're going to have to fire workers. Well, by putting that in, you're saying that right now you have workers that you don't need. Do any of your companies, you just have a whole bunch of people sitting around that you're keeping on the payroll just out of the goodness of your heart? No, right? And we can prove this because all you have to do is pull up the numbers because we've had 3 pay raises by raising the minimum wage. The number of people employed at a hotel has nothing to do with the hourly pay, and we can track this back 20 years. You can go to the Department of Labor's website. Companies hire the workers that you need to get the job done. You don't hire people for charity purposes. You aren't a charity. You're a for-profit industry. You hire the people you need, no matter what you have to pay them. That's how economics has always worked.
No, absolutely. But you're saying that we're hiring the people we need. Therefore,
yes.
If we have to pay them more, we're not going to pay the entire group more. We're going to keep our operational expenses the same, and therefore, we're going to have to let people go. You're talking about it being for business, and that's exactly what we are. We're a bunch of businessmen, and so if we really have to raise our operational expenses, we're going to cut people loose.
Once again, you guys say that, but it has never held true. It hasn't held true on the island of Guam. It hasn't held true in any of the 60 cities that have passed living wage laws. That's a Chicken Little technique.